Hello and welcome to Jesus for Asia Now. Today I am your host, John Wood, and today I have a special guest, Leroy Sharon, all the way from the mountains of Thailand. Leroy, when are you going back to Thailand?
Tomorrow morning.
What, early in the morning? Or?
Quite early, 6 o'clock in the morning.
And when did you arrive? When did you come here to America?
Well, I arrived here in Tennessee on Friday about 4 or 5 o'clock.
And this is Sunday.
Yes.
So you're here in America for 2 days.
That's correct.
That's a little unusual, isn't it?
Yes.
So what's your special occasion?
Well, you see, the last of our sons was married today.
Wow.
And so
you had to be there.
I wanted to be there.
Yeah. So how many sons do you have?
Well, I have 4 boys. Benjamin, Andrew, Jason, and Travis.
Wow. And so where did Travis meet this young lady?
Travis met Becky in the mission field at our place.
So Becky's been living with you guys for?
She came about 3.5 years ago and was helping us in our mission work.
And so you guys know her pretty well.
Quite well, yes.
That's nice. That's awesome. So you have 4 boys. Do you have any girls?
Well, since we have come to Thailand, we have acquired some girls, yes.
How does that work, acquiring?
Well, you see, it was very soon after we got here. I had to make a quick trip to America to set our house in order so that we could be permanently in Thailand. And then there was a little baby, a girl, 14 months old, that was handed to my wife one day.
Wow.
And so I first heard about this little girl when my wife called me and said, I really, really want this little girl. Can I have her?
Wow. Did the parents die?
Well, this little girl's father was a soldier in the Army, and the mother had left the little girl alone for some time, and so he could not take care of her, and so he wanted to bring her and give her to us.
Wow. Amazing. So how many times did that happen?
Well, that particular situation only happened once.
Okay.
We've had 6 children that we have accepted into our home as our children.
Wow.
And each of those have been girls. And the oldest one now is married and has 2 children of her own. And the youngest one is 7 years old. And we acquired her when she was 6 days old.
Wow.
So we are her only parents that she knows.
Wow. So when you accept a little child into your home, this is all legal, of course, but you're looking at how many years dedicated to raising that child?
Well, I am looking at 20 years to raise that child up to where she can take care of herself in this world.
But then that's 20 years out of your life.
Yes.
20 years where you're like stuck in a foreign country.
Well, that depends on your perspective.
Okay.
Stuck in a foreign country, or you get to enjoy being in a foreign country doing God's work.
Really?
Yes, taking care of children that do not have parents that can take care of them.
So you find this enjoyable?
Yes.
Really? So when you went over there the first time to Thailand, it was for how long? What was the plan?
Okay. The basic story goes like this.
Okay.
My son went over for a 3-month trip to help you set up radio stations in India.
Yes.
And he stopped off here in Thailand and saw the plight that the Korean people were going through. and where they are persecuted and killed in their own country. So they come across into Thailand, and they have to be in refugee camps or run the risk of the law taking them and disciplining them for not being in the refugee camps. So he saw what was going on, and he called us up and said, "Mom and Dad, I cannot come home.
Really?
I cannot come home to live in luxury when I understand that this is happening on the other side of the world."
Wow.
And so he committed to staying here to help these people.
Wow.
So that was okay for me because we had raised our boys to be young men to make their own decisions. And even though he was only about 18 at this time, he made his decision, and after 2 years he came back and recruited 2 of his younger brothers.
But not the youngest one.
Not the youngest, no.
Yeah.
So those 2 boys came and found places here in the mission field where they were able to do God's work.
Wow.
And then 1 year after that, Lisa, myself, and Travis came for a 3.5-month mission trip. We began to see what was really taking place with our own eyes. And in a short time, Travis told us, "I don't want to go back home."
Wow.
And that was okay, because he was old enough to make his decisions. So, but then my wife began to tell me that she did not want to go back home. So that kind of hit close to home for me.
Yeah.
So I talked to her about it, that if we could find a project that we could do here in Thailand for God, then I would be game. I would go back to the United States, put our house in order, and we could go as full-time missionaries.
Wow.
So that is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
While I was gone in America, this little baby was handed to my wife. And so I heard over the phone, "Please, may I have this little girl?"
Wow. And the first thought was 20 years.
Well, yes, I understood 20 years.
Okay.
But my first thought was, well, how can I make that decision? I'm in America. You are holding the baby. You have to make the decision.
Wow.
So I asked for her to make the decision, and we have a little baby girl.
Wow. So you were in America when your family received this daughter, and what was your first thought? What was it like when you got back to Thailand and how old was the child?
Yeah, this little girl, we have named her Hannah, and Hannah was 14 months old.
Wow.
At that time she was given to us. And
you mentioned that being in Thailand is an enjoyable experience. What are the things that you enjoy about being? Is it being in Thailand, or is it being in God's service full time, and how does that interact?
Well, it's definitely being in God's service, being free to do God's work as He directs me to do personally.
So then, what we've grown up in a country with lots of light, lots of resources. What kind of resources are available for the villager living in your village to learn about God?
Oh, there's not a lot of resources.
Okay.
Many of the people cannot read. So we can give them a Bible,
Okay.
and they actually cannot read it. So the best resource is the living Christian that can go amongst the people and live the life that Jesus would have them to see.
So
That's the best resource.
so they're oral learners, and visual learners. They see what you do and they hear what you say.
Yes, that's much how they learn. They are a people that relationships mean a lot to these people.
Okay.
You can talk to them, but they will not really absorb very much. But when you become their friend, then you can really talk to them. You can really show them what Christ is like.
So there's still a place for the human, physical, warm body missionary in the mission field today.
There is definitely a place.
Okay. Because I've been told, I've heard that the gospel is covering the world. 95% of the people in the world have access to the gospel, and Jesus is almost ready to come because there's so much progress of the gospel commission.
It is true that the gospel is going around and around and around the world. But I think it's missing most of the people.
Wow. Are there other areas that you know of that have no witness for the gospel? I mean, true gospel.
For the true gospel, yes. Yeah. There's many, many areas. Now, what do we mean by that?
Okay.
There are many different churches that are being represented in these mountain villages, but they're not being converted. The people are not leaving off the sins and becoming close to Jesus Christ.
Okay, so they might be adding that belief in.
Yeah, they will call themselves of this religion or that religion, but they are still wearing the bands, the devil string bands.
That represents
that they are afraid of the spirits. Okay? And so they need to wear these to protect them.
Wow.
So we see this all the time. Where they are calling themselves Christians, they are still drinking alcohol. They are taking drugs. They are doing all the things that sinful people do.
So they're not finding victory in their lives.
That's correct. So is there a place for the true Christian witness? Most definitely, yes.
So there's place for more besides you and your family?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you've been there for how long now in Thailand?
We've been in Thailand for over 10 years.
10 years. Do you think that you're in a place where you could maybe mentor people that wanted to come and learn how to do ministry in?
Yes, we are in a place now where we could. In fact, I am wanting to go out and do evangelism. Let me tell you just a little bit about it.
Okay.
About a year and a half ago and further back, I was going into a refugee camp and I was teaching English. And I was teaching English through using the Bible storybooks. And the students in the school was really enjoying it. In fact, I had Buddhist young people come to me and say they wanted to learn more about the Bible, about God. And so there were wonderful things were happening in this school. But there were some influences that brought about the situation where I was not able to go into that refugee camp anymore. So at that time, I began thinking, this is working very well in this refugee camp. It will also work in the villages, teaching through Bible story books, and in a very simple manner. And so I began to think and to plan for doing evangelism. And a year and a half of preparation now, I feel that we are getting to the place where we could have Thai speaking, Korean speaking, and also English speaking people come that we could integrate into evangelism, into the mountain villages. The focus is people who have a walk with God. A walk with God such as Enoch, such as Moses, such as Daniel.
So that's your goal.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to share with you and our audience something that God brought to my attention when I began to teach English.
Okay.
And so I would like to read this to you. I think you will recognize many of the things in this.
Okay.
It is titled, By Beholding, We Become Changed. Okay. If you want to teach English, you need to surround your students with English, right?
Okay.
They need to study English, listen to English, talk English, walk English, live English, sleep English, and eat English. They will learn English, right?
Right.
In my home, I have a very clear example of that. My little girl was given to me. She is a Korean girl. She does not speak Korean. She speaks English. And I read to her from these Bible story books. Some of them have very difficult words, and she will understand most or all of those words. She has learned English. But now let me share something with you. If the English is pure, they will learn pure English. Now this is the whole meat of this. If I bring into my home movies, music that is not of a godly character, what is my little girl going to learn?
Yeah, she's going to learn that.
What if I speak language that's not fit to be heard in God's temple?
Right.
What is my little girl going to learn?
She's going to learn that.
They will learn pure English if you speak pure English. Okay? Now, let's put this very same thing into Christianity. If you want to teach Christianity, you need to surround your students with Christianity, right? You need to have regular worships and Bible studies. You need to provide Christian music, books, movies, and recreation. Your conversation needs to be pure, holy, uplifting, honest, transparent. Basically Christian.
Yeah.
You need to take your students only where God approves. You need to live a Christian life. You need to sleep a righteous man's sleep. What is that? Honesty. When you are honest, you can go to bed at night at peace with God, at peace with man. You need to eat as a Christian eats. How is that? Anything you desire to eat? No. But eat according to the biblical diet.
Right.
They will become like Christ by your words and your life. Or they will choose to separate from the Christian environment. If you are a Christian and you do Christian things, all around you is Christian influence. People who don't want Christianity will walk away. They will separate. I have seen this happen over and over again. If the Christianity is pure, they will learn pure Christianity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, this is the theme, the focus of the evangelism that I want to do. Now, how can we achieve that? It is only by being connected with God.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is only by having the Holy Spirit come into our hearts
Yeah.
and to convert us.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the only way.
So basically, your approach to evangelism is to find ways to live the Christian life in front of as many people as possible.
It's necessary, yes.
Yeah, right.
So, in very simple, we're going to go live with the people
Okay,
in their homes.
okay.
We're going to ask the headman, the leader of the village,
Uh-huh,
who are the poorest of the poor in your village?
uh-huh.
Who are the needy? Who are the disabled? We want to go and minister to these people. And so when he tells us and they agree that they want us to come, we will go live with these people. And in respectful ways, we will live as Christians in their home. And as we become friends with them, and they give us opportunity, we will open the Bible and share in a very simple manner.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So in a nutshell, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it will grow from there.
Right.
Yes.
So how can people get in touch with you if they are interested or know somebody that might be interested in coming and being a part of it and doing this kind of?
Yes, they can contact us through Jesus for Asia.
Okay. We actually have a volunteer form on our website. People can fill that out and we can forward that to you. And then you can connect with them and get involved.
Okay.
That's awesome. What other needs do you have? Do you need a projector? That kind of thing? Are you going to use a projector?
I don't think that we will use a projector. What this is all built around is Christians living as Christians. Now, I'm looking for Bible workers that can stand up and give evangelistic series when the time comes for that. But to begin with, a simple, godly person that can live in a home and share Jesus Christ on simple terms with people is who we're looking for.
So it sounds like the time of the missionary is not over, that there's a lot of opportunity for missionaries.
Oh, they're everywhere. I'm lacking people. I have one worker, whereas I want 5 to begin this program.
Okay.
And so I am searching for people right now.
Wow. So what are the things that really excite you? What really gets you going? What keeps you enthusiastic about this work?
I just spent a week teaching English using Christ our Savior in my own home to a Sunday keeping lady that agreed to be my translator. And just before I came here, I was told by Jodipo, my worker, that she is asking, do I need to be rebaptized to become a Seventh-day Adventist?
Wow.
Basically how it comes about is I cannot speak to my workers because they don't speak English. And so I need a translator. So I found this translator. I'm explaining the Christ our Savior, what Christ did for us.
Wow.
And I have to explain it, right?
Yeah.
And the words, the meaning of them.
Right.
And you could just see on this young lady's face her understanding. It is really amazing. But now she's my translator. She's on vacation until I get back.
Okay.
But now it's a really hard work. I have one student. One student. Really hard to teach one student. I need 5 students. And teach them all the same, all at the same time. Instead of me having to teach it over and over and over.
But it's exciting.
But it's exciting because
when you see.
I asked for, okay, I'll go through it. I asked a Buddhist lady. She spoke really good English. She agreed. I hired her. And 1 week later, she emails me and says, I don't want to back out, but I have to back out because my family doesn't want me to come. And she indicated two things. Well, my wife wasn't there, right? Okay. She alluded to that, but didn't actually say it.
Right.
But she said, basically, the other thing would be that they're afraid she'll be converted to Christianity. They know there's power in the gospel.
Wow.
Okay?
Right.
And I wasn't bashful. I told her the bar's way up here.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be a vegetarian. You're going to be keeping Sabbath when you come help me. Because you're my mouthpiece, right? So anyway, I held the bar way up, and she wanted to do it, but she was held back.
By her family.
Yeah.
Wow.
And others also. But this lady accepted.
Wow.
And I know that God brought her.
Praise the Lord.
I know she's going to be a Seventh-day Adventist shortly.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me on the show. It's the first time you've been here. I know your wife has been on here, Lisa, several times. It's really good to have you on here and hear some honest perspective of what's really happened, what it's really like in the mission field. As far as I know, I've heard people say, actually, we took one family to India. We were there for a week and a half, and she says, "Where's all the missionaries? I thought there was lots of missionaries in the mission field." And they're not really very many out there.
There's not, no.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Jesus for Asia Now. You can see that there's huge opportunities for God's work, for missionaries, and there's a famous preacher recently that has said, you can go, send, or disobey. And God's commission is for every believer. And we can either go, or we can send someone else to go. The hardest part for us is to go, but that's really where the greatest joys and the greatest rewards are. Remember, this life is very short. If you'd like to get in touch with Jesus for Asia, contact us at Jesus for Asia, P.O. Box 1221, Collegedale, Tennessee 37315. You can call us at 423-413-7321, or go to our website where we have the volunteer form and ways to donate online at jesusforasia.org. May God richly bless you until next time we meet on Jesus for Asia Now.